All right, guys, welcome to what are we up to? I don't even know what episode we're up to. We're up to this episode. We have Ooda here today.
Greetings.
Yes, Ooda is, I don't know, I've gone through this little phase of explaining who I am to people. I don't know why, but
This is going to be an interesting,
Yeah,
complicated way to get around. I do this quite regularly and it never comes out easy.
yeah, it's never fuck it, we're just mates.
That's the simplest way. There's a prick relation through both of us.
That's non-existent.
Yep.
That's
This gets even worse. The more you think about it, the worse it gets.
Yeah. There's a couple moving parts in that, but we're fucking buddy old pals.
Yeah. That's the way life is. There's nothing simple in life nowadays.
That's it. Yeah, you can explain things 14 different fucking ways, and it still probably won't make sense.
There's a pretty good chance we're not going to understand it either. So
No.
that makes it simpler.
Oh, very good. All right, let's for the people that don't know you, which are the people that are going to listen to this episode probably will know you, but for the people that are following along, I think we've got I've got about 20 followers on YouTube and maybe around 50, 60 through, Facebook, Instagram and all that sort of stuff that they're constant. I'm getting about 70 views per episode, so it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. That's how it starts though.
Yeah.
Like a lot of podcasts that I've listened to, you find one and then you realise they've been doing it for 5 or 6 years and then you go back and start from the start and you're probably watching something that had 70 when they originally started and now there's frigging a couple of 100,000 views on it.
Yeah, that was my my murder mystery one that I started listening to. I just liked it, and I liked it. They were just some American Sheila and her husband. And then they were going on about we didn't expect to get 5,000 followers. I was like 5,000. Like I thought you guys had millions. Like this is great. I love this stuff. This is so good. But yeah, that's just the way it happens. But
it starts and then it continues. It's the snowball effect. Everything starts out small and then snowballs bigger and bigger.
Even if it doesn't get big, I find a lot of enjoyment doing this. Like it's so good to be able to talk to people and let people. Like yourself and Marco too was really excited to do it. Just to come on here and you don't know where it's going to go. You don't know what you're going to say. You might have a preconceived idea in your head what you're going to get into, like what Marco said. And he was like, at the end of it, he's like, I didn't even know where we were going to go. I had an idea in my head and we just fucking went left. He didn't really say it in that many words, but after the podcast, he's like, fucking pretty cool.
I came here honestly with no aspirations, no thought process about where it is. This is a wing in it for me.
Yeah.
So wherever it leads to is where it leads to, and that's the way I like it. That's the way most of my conversations go.
And that's the fun of it. That's the joy of conversation.
It is indeed. It is indeed.
So tell us a bit about yourself. Who you are, where you're from.
Originally from Orange, born and raised. Obviously. I've moved around the place, worked in Melbourne for a little while when I was younger, straight out of high school, then went back to Orange and then started travelling for work somewhere around about 2013. And ever since then, I've sort of travelled in and out, done some sort of travelling at some stage. Was home for a couple of years when the kids were born and through COVID when it was a shit time. But outside of that, pretty much I just travel around. We lived in Parks through COVID, which was probably a saving grace, given the fact that it was a smaller country town and we didn't have to deal with a lot of the political lockdown side of things that tended to happen a little bit more in the city.
Just not as stressed out there.
Yeah.
It still would have been.
It was still locked down. There was still, everything was still adhered to, but it's a lot larger, wider, open expanses. You could move around without running into other people, so it made life a little bit more relaxing. And I guess I had a little bit of a luxury in the fact that I was working in mining at that stage, so I still got to go to work, which was definitely a big plus. I didn't get locked in at all.
Yeah, COVID did not affect me whatsoever in my day-to-day life. Like I just went to work. I'm pretty, unless there is an event on, I'm pretty much a homebody. So I go to work and come home and go to work and come home. And then I was a bit dirty, a few things like they shut down BNSs and all that sort of stuff. They were all just luxuries anyway that, just saved me money in the end. That it didn't piss money up the wall for 2 years
Yeah.
ultimately.
Well, the positive for me was the bottle-os were still open and we could still go forward driving. So as long as I could get fuel to go forward driving and the bottle-os were open, it was good.
Not much was doing. Hey, like there wasn't
No.
that much of a big deal. There's some things like going to the pub when you wanted to, but who really fucking cares at the end of the day? If that's what your life was, then that sucks for you. Maybe you needed that kick in the ass to find something else to do with your life.
Oh,
Really.
definitely. And I mean, it's one of those things. It can be viewed negatively or it could be viewed positively, but it taught us a lot of freedom that we took for granted, especially in Australia, that we took for granted as being a very free country, and then all of a sudden we weren't. And it taught us that there are freedoms to lose and you can lose them. It's not as simple as assuming that you can't lose them. So
Yeah, you're not free to walk the earth as much as you think you are. I remember when the thing came over the radio, we were in Parks and we said to everyone, we're like, shit, this is going down. They're talking about lockdown next weekend. Because remember they had like a date. They're like,
yeah,
So we said, righto, we went down to Woolies and bought a whole bag of snags and whatever we wanted to, like bread rolls and all that. Went to the park and just had a big bloody
enjoyed yourself.
Yeah. Just
Well, I remember at that stage we were living in Parks. Obviously, you're down here,
yeah.
and there's really not that much difference. But the first affected person that came through the area went to a cafe, and I can't remember whether it was in Forbes or Parks.
Yeah,
and there were a
okay.
lot of close contacts.
Right.
And it just so happened that working as a Sparky at North Parks, all the Sparkies happened to be at this cafe
Oh,
or
no.
close contacts. So I got absolutely reamed because I turned up to work. Underground Sparky wasn't there. The cross shift wasn't there. So it was pretty much me for a full swing. And that was,
Yeah, it would have been wild.
yeah, that was a bit of a learning curve. So
Yeah, I remember how intense it was too. Like when the first person came to the bay and they're like, "Oh, someone's here with COVID," and there's, now it's a hot spot, and like we couldn't come home for visitation with Tomo and whatever, and it's a hot spot, and everyone was like, "Oh, you can't get it, you can't get COVID, you'll die, like you die so serious." And I was like, "Man, I still never had it. I've never had COVID."
oh, that's a luxury. I had it twice. And it absolutely knocked the shit out of me.
Really?
Yeah. Me and Zeke, both of us in bed, sweating. It's like the house was maybe 25 degrees.
Yeah.
I was trying to tell Kate to turn the heater up because it was freezing. She's
Yeah.
like, nah, you're sitting in a pool of your own sweat in the bed. We're not turning it up. Kate and Zan got it. Not a problem.
They're fine. Yeah, right.
Yeah, just walking around like it's any other day. I was like, oh, that's a luxury.
You asses.
But it was one of those things.
Yeah, Jess and the kids got it out on the farm here once we were back here. And then I'm like, I don't really like hygienicness, whatever, at the best of times. So everything's normally pretty clean. But this was like I was walking around with a can of Glen 20. I don't know if it was doing anything, but I'd spray it on the chair before I sat down and I'd tell everyone, stay out of don't sit in that chair, don't touch my bowl, don't touch my plate. Like at this point, this was only like, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years ago. I was like, I've come this far. And I think it was coming into harvest too. I was like, I've come this far, and something was about to get busy, either that or irrigation. I was like, I'm no. It's a no from me.
Yeah, look, it's one of those things. I think it was also one of those things that taught us to not ignore, but take with a grain of salt the way media blows things out of proportion. Like it was blown out of proportion. And then since then, it's been every 6 months that something's turned up that's been attempted to be blown out of proportion. But Australians nowadays just
they
don't really care.
The way that we've got a new strain, and then it's like, oh, here we go, and there's something on the news about someone ate something else over in fucking Wu-Tang, and then there's something else fucking coming over, and then like it's in the news for 2 days, and then it's done. Like, nothing happens.
I don't want to say there will be never be another coronavirus, but I don't think that we'll see the world pandemic or fear-mongering that happened be allowed to happen again. I think that's a one experience that we've lived through, and as children of the 80s, it's one of those things that it's different. Well, I suppose it's not really, because you had Y2K that was huge back in the 2000s.
Yeah. It was in hindsight, I wish I did COVID different. Like I don't know what I wish I did. I think about it all the time, but there was so much money to be made, like so much money to be lost in COVID. But now knowing what we know, like there's so much money to be made. Like we could have done so much stuff and broken so many laws and got away with it, because there was like that massive court case that was, I don't know, last year, that everyone that was getting fined for being outside of their electorate or something, that they couldn't actually, like they didn't actually have the fucking powers to do that.
Yeah. That's entertaining. That's dangerous in its own aspect.
I mean, yeah, but you got to follow the rules. You couldn't go around willy nilly. You sort of had to half treat it serious, but just stay to your own people. Don't fucking cough on people. You know, wash your hands.
For me, that side of things wasn't that hard. I don't like people as whole.
Yeah.
So for me, staying out of the cities,
easy,
sweet. I don't care. You don't get to go down the street. I really don't care.
That's fine. Yeah.
And like the first lockdown that we had, for me, was awesome, because we were doing construction at parks, so all our food was provided anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So for us, the only downside was we couldn't get a coffee in the morning before we went to work.
Oh, you couldn't swing into the bakery or something.
Yeah.
And
that was the only downside. Outside of that, everything else acted as normal.
Yeah.
So, and then the second one, by the time the second one, Kate had moved from Orange to Parks, and we were we were obviously living as a family again, which made life much, much easier. And then it was pretty much what it was. So once again, didn't affect us too much, which is always a positive.
Yeah, it was a fucking time. COVID was an absolute sham. I mean, it was real, but it was just a shit time. It was a shit time.
Yeah. It'll be entertaining in another 20 years' time when we look back on it. And back in my day, the entire world was locked down for this sickness that is now healed by one single pill.
Yeah. Oh, and the friggin' vaccinations. I didn't get vaccinated, and I was going to not get vaccinated until I wanted to go drilling up in the territory. And then to go on the plane, I had to be triple vaxxed or whatever it was.
Oh, no.
I had to wait like 8 weeks to get triple vaxxed.
To be able and that was the one thing that they held over your head.
Yeah.
See, my family were vehement anti-vaxxers.
Yeah.
Which obviously in hindsight is not that bad a situation. But I saw the writing on the wall pretty quickly that in order for me to maintain earning my lifestyle,
it was a non-negotiable.
It was a non-negotiable. And the first two obviously were non-negotiables. That's where I stopped. As soon as it wasn't affecting my ability to earn a livelihood, no longer my problem.
Yeah. Well, mine wasn't so much the hoodoo around the vaccine. I'm just anti-needle. I'm terrified of needles. Like I just don't do needles. So I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I've not been asked to get it, like driving trucks, and no one's forcing me to get it. I don't care if I can't get I made my own vaccine card, like to go to the pub and that.
Card.
Yeah, so made my own one of those.
Look, as long as you still go to the pub, then it's all pretty well straightforward.
It was, I think we only went to the pub like 2 or 3 times anyway, but and sit down and all that fucking rubbish. But yeah, at the end of the day, I wanted to go drilling, so I needed the triple vax and to get on the plane.
The things we do for the things we want to do.
Yeah, because you can't pull the wool over the eyes at Qantas with your homemade fucking QR code and all that sort of shit. They don't really buy it.
That's funny. The police will buy it, but you can't get on my plane without it.
Yeah, 100%.
Business. Everybody loves business.
All right, beautiful. Right, well, we'll get into. We have a bit of a warm up. Had a COVID chat.
Oh yeah, a little bit of conspiracy theory never hurt no one.
Straight up. Let's dive into my first question that I always ask everyone is, can you remember and can you tell us about your earliest memory as a child?
This is an interesting one. So Kate and I were having a conversation about this last night, I believe.
Yep.
There's a few memories that I don't know are actually legitimate memories or whether they are something that I've pieced together from photos and sort of accepted as real memories.
Yeah, okay.
But the first one I remember clear as day, legitimate memory, it is what it is and there's no contradicting it, was, I can't remember whether it was 93 or 95. We had a drought and Barndong went to 0.5%. It's the lowest it's ever been.
It was like the 10-year drought back then.
Yeah, it was a 10-year drought. It's right at the end of the 10-year drought.
Yep.
Lowest percentage it's ever been. And one of my brothers had, I want to say, an old school white Hilux. And they both had motorbikes, and the motorbikes were strapped to the back of the ute. Now, just for context, my brothers are somewhere between 9 and 18 years older than me.
Right.
And then there's me and my little brother, there's 13 months between us. So
Yeah,
there's a big age gap, which explains this conversation because when I say my brothers had a vehicle, and it's also my earliest memory, generally it screws with people's heads a little bit. But they were driving around and me and my little brother was sitting on these motorbikes pretending to ride them that were strapped to the back of the ute.
Oh, you're cruising around in the back of the ute.
Cruising in the back of the ute.
Nice.
And that's, I think, my earliest legitimate memory. And I also remember that as an add-on, an extra to that I think that would have been, I'm almost 100% sure it was 93. So I would have been 4.5 or 5. And I'm pretty sure the winter of 94, it flooded.
Yeah, right.
And it went from 0% to 120% in the space of 3 months.
Yeah, shit.
And I remember that part clear as day because we went out there to see it flood. And that was cool. Like this was back when I was younger where my family as a whole did a lot of traveling.
Yeah, and they were the days for it too.
They were. They were the days where you'd travel. Like nowadays, families go on a holiday once every couple of years.
Yeah, that's right.
Back then, like a holiday was
Easter, Christmas, long weekend. Everyone,
exactly.
You'd have a cabin or something, or your friends.
You'd always end up somewhere. It didn't matter what it was. You were out doing something. Mobile phones were barely around. I think they were obviously in their early infancies at that stage. I don't even know that they were around at the stage that we're talking about.
Yeah, I think in like 92 there would be like
the old brick phone.
Probably nearly a brick phone.
Yeah, I remember a brick phone. It would have been probably 10 inches tall by 4 inches by 4 inches.
Yeah, yeah.
And it had a case and you pulled the aerial out of the case and screwed it into the top.
Yeah,
and if you didn't have that screwed in, there was no service.
There was no talking on the phone. Yeah, 100%.
But I remember going out to that. And the reason this story I remember is because one of my siblings at that stage told me and my little brother that he saw a shark fin. And we were a little bit skeptical because at this stage we were 5 and 6 and we had a fairly good understanding of the fact that sharks are in the ocean and that water wasn't salty.
Yeah, yeah.
But we were informed that the reason it filled up so far was because there was an underground reservoir between Barndong and Sydney Harbour. And it just so happened that the sharks could swim in through this. And me and my little brother have never been able to live this down.
Yeah.
Even though now as mid to late 30-year-olds with children of our own, we still get referred to as the little boys, and this conversation still comes up quite regularly.
That's crack up. Yeah, that's good. I was the victim of the same crime actually when I was younger. We were told there was whales in Lake Endeavour in parks. And when we were younger, there was whales. So every time we went out there swimming, we were told, like, make sure you look for the whales, and you'd always see one. Like, I seen a whale every time I went out there. I was like, yeah, I seen it.
It was blowing water out. Yeah. It was awesome.
Didn't see a fucking thing, but at that age, anything is possible, really.
But they're the memory builders. They're the things that every so often we'll have a conversation with Zeke and Zan now, and you sit there and you're like, is this going to be that core memory?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
And you're
yeah.
sitting there, you're like, it's a lie, but is it going to be the core memory that they're going to grow up with? And they're going to be having an interview one day, and this is going to be the one little core memory that they remember.
They're going to pop up and they're going
Yeah.
to know, like, yeah, my dad got me with that one. That was
That's good. It's the innocent fun that we have. And it's the joy of watching children. We had Zan's birthday, her 4th birthday, on the weekend just gone. And one of the most enjoyable things was just standing there and watching the innocence of the children enjoying themselves.
Oh, 100%.
That's the thing that you see lost so quickly nowadays.
Yeah.
But when you look back and when we were younger, that innocence, I don't know whether it did, but it feels like it lasted longer. It feels like you had a little bit more sheltered. You didn't have access to the wide world.
1,000,000%. I was probably innocent in the way of naivety.
Naivety.
No, that's him. Up until probably like at least 12, 13. Like I didn't see anything bad in the world really. Like nothing's like so detrimental to be like told that, you know, things weren't real that brought us presents and all that sort of stuff. Like as my nan told me that as long as I believe, then I get it. Like that's as far as that goes. So to this day, I still believe in the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus because when you stop believing, you don't get it.
Oh, see, that's luxury.
Yeah.
We were brought up in a slightly different household.
Yeah, yeah.
Where it was Christmas ain't real.
Right.
So suck it up.
So we'll get into that, but yeah, if that's something you want to talk about.
Oh, look, I'm open to talk about anything. For me, it's just one of those situations.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think we had innocence that was a different variation of innocence, more a protected innocence.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like today, these kids today, even though we try to protect them from it, just the way the world is so fast and how technology is just readily available at every corner. There's no getting away from anything. Like there's any bit of information is available for, you know, anyone at any corner of the fucking room.
But it's it's now a requirement for their education. Like it's ballistic to think that when I went through high school, I think it was like year 9 before I touched a computer.
Well, that's right. We had in primary school, but we had like, Wednesday afternoon we'd have computers, and that was ultimately just to do Microsoft Word and typing and to learn how to. Where it was never internet based learning at all. It was all like learning about software and how to type, how to use a computer and all that sort of stuff, how to make a document, how to save something in a file, and that was until high school. And then and IT was an elective, so then we didn't have to. Yeah, we didn't. I never picked it because I was always pretty fluent in it. We had a computer at home,
and well, that's always a luxury.
Some people didn't, there's people that come to school that did IT that didn't have a computer at home,
and it would have been a huge learning curve.
Yeah, 100%.
Whereas nowadays, my 5-year-old's explaining to me how to use a phone.
Yeah, 100. Like it's crazy sometimes when I'll be on FaceTime with Sophia or Thea or any of the kids, and they bring up the characters and they're like doing faces. I'm like, I don't even know how to do that, man. Like I'm pretty good with technology most of the time, but I got to Google it. I don't know how to make myself a giraffe on FaceTime. Like, I just don't know how to do it.
I think I'm 37 now, but I think I'm becoming a cranky old man where I'm redacting myself from technology as much as possible. I'll learn what I need to learn in order to make money. But outside of that, like I will send text messages, I will make phone calls. That's about it, technology based. Like, if we can't do it in those two, I'm not really that interested, to be honest.
I did say to Jess the other night, I said after doing all this podcast stuff and editing and learning how all this technology works, like I just don't have time for scrolling and just being on the internet really. Like I'll still scroll a bit, but I just got no love for technology after I've done all this. I'm just computed out.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm done for the week. Like,
But you've also got enough to keep yourself entertained. And
yeah,
I
that's
think
100%.
for
And
me,
it's constructive. Like it's, yeah.
you're moving forward. It's positive. I think
Yeah.
the biggest issue with social media is it's used to replace boredom because nobody accepts boredom anymore.
No, yeah, they rely on it just to walk down the street, just be on your phone.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, you couldn't. There was no reason to be on your phone walking. Like
No.
a text message wasn't that. It wasn't that important, and if you had to, you'd take a phone call. And
How old are you now?
33.
You'd almost be old enough to be at the point where you had to know somebody's landline phone.
Oh yeah,
and ring them at that time of day,
Yep.
or you knew that you weren't getting a hold of them.
Yeah, 100%.
And if they were going to ring you back, it was between 6 and 7 when you were eating dinner, and there was no other time that person was going to ring you back.
Yeah, and we'd know, by the time of day before caller ID, we'd know who it was. Like we could 9 out of 10 pick who was calling at what time of the day.
Yeah.
So that was
That's actually one of, now that we go back to early memories, one of my earliest childhood memories is my father having a dummy spit's probably not the right way of putting it, but having an adverse reaction to the phone ringing at dinner time at 6:30 because he knew who it was. And that's one of the entertainments that children nowadays are not going to get.
Yeah, 100%. The phone rings at dinner time. It was always like, who has the goal to ring at this time? And I know who this is.
Why are they ringing me? They know this is my dinner time. Why do they ring me at dinner time every single time?
Yeah. 9 times out of 10, you pick up that phone. It's like, it's just Raj from Telstar that's wanting to talk to you too.
Well, that's what it is nowadays. But back then, it was like scam callers weren't really a thing back then.
No, it was only the Nigerian prince really that was the scam caller. And
poor guy, he just can't get rid of his money, eh?
yeah, he just can't.
I hope one day we find out that there is millions and millions of dollars sitting around somewhere, and he's been doing his absolute best to offload this money.
He has the biggest funeral ever, and he's like, "I just tried, man. I tried my hardest."
Yeah, and then hundreds of years down the track, he gets recorded as the richest man that ever lived because he couldn't give away this money. That would be a highlight of my life. Hey?
That would be a cracker. It's so not true, but it'd be an awesome plot twist if the Nigerian prince was actually a real thing. He was a real dude.
And listen to this though, you'd hate to be from Nigeria because that is the quintessential racist thing that comes out of Nigeria every single time.
Yeah.
They've probably got some really good,
really
good
nice
learnings.
guy. Yeah,
very nice people that come out of there. But as a whole, look, you're just a joke. You're the world's joke purely for giving away money or attempting to.
You're just a little scammer because we know you're not actually a prince and you've got no money. You're actually going to try and, I don't know what your plan is, but it's weird. And he was giving away money back before when money wasn't even, like it was, they probably thought it was hard to get, but I would much rather be my age now in the 90s, I reckon.
I think it was a simpler life. I think at our age, if you grew up in the 80s and the 90s, like if you were in your mid-30s, 80s and 90s, you set yourself to a position where you could easily work 5 and 2.
Yeah.
An 8-hour-a-day job, even a 10-hour-a-day job, and you could see your family every single night, and you could own a house, you could own vehicles, and you could live comfortably.
All you had to do was work hard back then. Like everyone says, these young fellas, they don't work hard enough. Like if we worked this hard back in them days, we'd be friggin' well off, I can assure you.
I remember seeing miners back in those days, and those guys might as well have been millionaires.
Yeah.
The amount of money that they had coming in, they couldn't spend it fast enough.
Yep.
Whereas nowadays, most miners are quite literally hand to mouth.
Yeah, they've got to just keep keep going to work. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I got to go back this swing because if I don't,
Those golden handcuffs. But even that, like a lot of miners nowadays, they're not buying flashy things. They're just living. Like they're actually living a normal life.
just comfortably living.
Yeah.
Comfortably living. But that's what we're saying. Like if we were working now, but back in the 90s, we could work half as hard to have what we have now, pretty much. Like,
Oh, easily.
yeah,
Yeah.
I believe.
And less technology.
Yeah,
It's a dream.
So much
I'd go
better.
back if we had a time machine, I'd take my entire family back in a heartbeat.
Oh,
No questions asked.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back when cars were actual cars, not
Yeah.
just pieces of plastic and technology.
Yeah, give us some carburetors and
Stop it.
some leaf springs. Yeah, no, it would have been a better time. It would have been a better time. But so you were born so you were about 4 years, did you say?
Bicentenary baby, mate. Bicentenary baby.
Right.
And you won't understand that because you're younger than me.
Yeah.
Generally, the only person that understands that is somebody that's older than the bicentenary baby. I was born in 88, which is the bicentenary of Federation.
Lucky dude. That's your claim to fame.
That's the only claim to fame I've got. Everything else is less positive than that.
No, it still would have. So if you want, we'll talk about where you've come from. Well, I don't even actually know. So Jess and Kate both asked me, like, would you like to know, like, maybe you should learn more about it? And I said, no, I want to learn this with Ooda. I want to sit with him and talk about it. So let's run it now and fill us in. Where did you wheelie come from?
Where did I really come from? Look, it was an interesting upbringing. We'll do a quick snapshot.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back because you need to understand the basic concept of what's going on.
Yep.
In order for it to really be understandable.
Yep.
So
we got about 10 minutes. So if you want to give us, I don't know, either that or we can have another quick conversation about something and come back and we can get right into it.
Oh, we can rock either way. It's up to you. But
yeah.
We'll rock through a quick setup.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that.
I was born into what a lot of people would call a cult. It was a religious sect. Originally born out of the Anglican Church. Okay. One of the Anglican ministers was a little bit too forthright in his teachings and was asked to leave.
Yep.
Now this happened in a place called Plymouth, middle of England, and then he left and started his own church called the Plymouth Brethren. Generally referred to nowadays as featheries from anybody outside the church looking in.
Yeah, okay.
Or the exclusive brethren by the media, depending on which way you're looking at it.
Yeah, because that's all. When I did look at it, I just wanted to get a bit of background on what I was going to talk to you about, and I didn't know if I was listening to the right fucking stuff because it said the Plymouth bloody exclusive. I was like, I don't know if this is a different breed or what the.
Yeah, look, it's one of those situations. In current day setup, you're born into it.
Okay.
Was an open church for many, many years. After the World Wars, sort of mid to late 50s, maybe early 60s, it started to become a little bit more restrictive and sort of became more and more cultish and restrictive as it went along.
Okay.
I mean, most things that you will hear about it, especially from ex-members, is very negative because most people that have left with a lot of anger in their hearts, and
I know people that worked at Pizza Hut that think Pizza Hut's the worst fucking thing in the world. So.
Yeah, it's no different to that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, pretty much everything that gets put up is negative.
Yeah.
Like most sections of society, there's some positives, there's some negatives. There are some really good people, and there are some really not so good people, and it tends to be that the not so good people tend to move up in the hierarchy and the good people tend to stay low in the hierarchy.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've got the luxury in the fact that when our family was asked to leave, long convoluted. We left.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
Right.
the instigation between that is argumentative depending on who you're talking to.
Okay.
When our family chose to leave, I was 9. So at that stage, I really didn't have a major comprehension over what was going on, except for the fact that
That was just life itself, really. And
life itself. The only thing that me and my little brother knew at that stage was that outside of immediate family, anybody that we had associated with or dealt with no longer spoke to us.
Right.
Yeah, and it was generally as blunt and clear cut as that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right. Well,
So and that's why, I mean, a lot of our upbringing was immediate family only. So having the luxury of having older brothers, they tended to go out and move their way around.
yeah.
So they did a lot of traveling, which is where me and my brother got a lot of luxury to be able to travel with them. Because generally when one of them travelled, they would take one of the little boys with them.
Yeah. Okay.
So we got to see a lot of the east coast of the country, plus a little bit of the west coast of the country. So that was a luxury. But I don't have completely negative things to say.
Yeah.
But also, obviously, at that stage, I was pretty young. So my memory of the actual events are probably not as skewed negatively in the way that I had time to
You
see
didn't
what
really
was
know the
going on.
politics at the time. You're only really going off what you've been told and what you can vaguely sort of remember. And
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that 110%.
But unfortunately, it's a section of my life that I get questioned on probably more than I'd like to.
Yeah.
But I'm always very open. Like for me, it's one of those situations where it's happened. I understand a lot of people's intrigue.
Yeah.
I'm a person that has a lot of intrigue and likes to rabbit hole and
It's so
chase
different.
lots
It's
of
so
information.
taboo sort of thing. Like it's like tell me.
And I think that's what a lot of people's intrigue is. However, I'm open to speak to anybody about it.
Yeah.
So long as they don't come to me with preconceived conjecture.
No. I know I wouldn't.
No, I know you wouldn't.
Yeah.
But general, when people will come to me and go, hey,
You got a loaded question.
I've got a loaded question. Yeah, no problem at all. Whatever you think is correct.
That
is the end of this conversation.
Whatever you want me to say, I've said it.
Because you're not going to hear anything else.
Correct.
If people come to me with an open mind, like I'm happy to have any conversation about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's lots of good people in there.
Yep.
There's a few not so good people in there. It shaped my upbringing quite a bit and shaped our family structure. And I mean, for me and my little brother, I know this sounds probably slightly contradictory, and it is definitely contradictory from the outlook that my older brothers had on the same situation because they were in the thick of what was going on. They were in their late teenage years.
Yeah, righto.
They understood what was going on. But for me and my little brother, it might actually have been a luxury.
Yeah, okay.
In the fact that we were dealt a family structure that not a lot of family structures had. And even to a couple of years ago, I did not understand how broken so many families are compared to what I deem as broken.
Yeah,
and
okay.
Kate, obviously my wife, she'll be on a podcast at some stage in the future.
Correct.
Struggles immensely in our early days with our family structure, given the fact that she came from a vastly different family structure.
Right.
And could not understand how two siblings can have an argument at a dinner table and not have one of them storm off.
Yeah, okay, right. Yeah, there's way different communications and structure, as you're saying. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, very good. All right, well, we'll leave it there. We're going to leave part 1 here, and we're going to come back next week for part 2. And we might touch a little bit more on that upbringing, but I know there's a lot more to Ooda, as he says. There's way more to Ooda actually than that conversation. So I've got a couple of not loaded questions, but a couple of questions that's been in my brain now. We've been talking that we're going to put on him. So stick around for next week, and we'll be back for part 2.
See you next week.